Good morning, everyone. It is March the 20th, 2026. Today I'm going to put up two videos after I give you a speech here. And it's, I've often talked because we're having our 200th anniversary for the Byward Market here, but for years we've been planning on upgrading the Byward Market. And the first video is on security on the Byward Market because this is where a lot of the stabbings and things are, and shootings and whatnot, and the violence is occurring off and on in the market area, and what the city feels that needs to be done as we upgrade it, the Byward Market, because it's a tourist area, and it's a really great area other than the situation that we have with the homeless. And so there's pros and cons to everything, and I think it's very interesting what they're saying. And the second one is they want 24-hour toilets put in the Byward Market, which sounds great. I don't disagree with it necessarily, but again, they're going to have to be monitored. And the same thing is that they're planning on putting more security guards as well in the market as for security, and they need to be monitored as well in a proper way because there's so much going on here. I don't know if a security guard is going to be fully prepared for some of the things that are actually going on. For just an example, if someone pulled a knife on a security guard, is he able to defend himself, or is a police officer would be more likely to be able to defend himself, or herself, I should say, since it's both sexes now. I don't want to forget anyone in this. But even as a female security guard, I've had things that have happened to me, and that I have talked about sometimes over the years. Some of it I've talked about earlier on in my videos, and sometimes it's hard to find them because it's like I've got over 800 videos easily now on the YouTube channel. But when you're looking at the toilets, for an example, this is, to me, it's very difficult because what we're finding is, in the malls, for an example, we have security guards in the malls. We have the cleaning staff that go in and clean the toilets. But we also have the homeless go in there and they decide they want to shoot up in the stalls. But at least we have monitoring. And if the cleaner or we have a problem, we just go to the security and then at the mall, and they take care of it very quickly. And plus, having the police hub right in Rideau Center is a big advantage as well. So it causes less problems just by having the hub there. And as people have said, insecurity, as one woman said on it, it's just the idea of having people in uniform walking around that are authority of some sort that will hopefully keep some of this down as well. But there's much to think about because when the shop owners, or the restaurants in particular, they were hit pretty hard because what happens is they can't just monitor their washrooms, and that's why they've now put it for customers only, because the homeless people are going in there. They were shooting up needles. They were putting the needles in the toilet tanks, which was really a bad thing, and flushing them down the toilet. And of course, they block everything. Then they have to call a plumber in, which is quite expensive. If anyone's had to call a plumber in, I'm sure they understand the expense there that goes with it. And then even Julie has also stated on the drop-in centers that they go in and shoot up in the washroom, and they do the same thing, putting them either on the floor or dumping them down the toilet or putting them in the toilet tank as well. So it's quite a problem. So they would have to have the washrooms, if they put a 24-hour washroom in there, and as long as we have all these homeless people down here as well, they would have to be monitoring it very, very closely. Because, I mean, they don't even want to accept when we do a community event. It's very hard for us to even get portable toilets down here. Because this is what happens. They start dumping the needles. They go in there and shoot up and start putting them down and ruining the linings or whatever it is in the porta potties with this. And when they have to clean them out, they don't want to get stuck with a needle either. The same thing as the restaurant owners didn't want to have to go in there and clean out the toilet tanks and clean out the needles as well. So this is just one of the big things I find right now, the two big things, because I worry about the security guards too, because I know I've been in a couple of situations, and I can certainly describe one of them. And I will describe one of them to you that caught me off guard. It was years ago. As a security guard, we used to walk the city parks. We used to patrol them, and this was what we were, and look after the parks and make sure that things were okay. People were not misbehaving, and they were not drinking and stuff like that. We were looking for. And this one night, I just finished my shift. It was 11:30 at night. It was dark out, and it had been raining earlier that day, so I was walking under the streetlights on the sidewalk, the side where the park was, and I had my umbrella in one hand and my raincoat in the other hand. And on the other sidewalk across the street, I saw this gentleman, and he came walking over towards me. Didn't think anything of it. I just thought he was just out for a walk. So I moved over. When he approached me, I moved over further on the sidewalk so he could walk past me. As he walked past me, what did he do? He turned around and he plowed me one with his fist right in the chest. Of course, I doubled over. He grabbed me from behind. He got both my hands, which were tangled up between my umbrella and my raincoat. So he had them pinned behind me, and then he clamped his hand over my mouth so I couldn't scream. And at the same time, plowing me, he knocked the wind out of me. And at the same time, because I have asthma, I was having an asthma attack. But I was lucky enough that I had my legs free, so I was able to do a back kick, and with my toes I was able to nail him in the forehead, and he let go, which was the best thing he could have done, because I have an operatic voice, so I know how to throw my voice. So at that point I just screamed, and with an operatic voice, I was heard all over the park. And luckily for me, there was people in the park at that time. They were looking for worms to go fishing in that the next day, and they had flashlights and that, and hearing me scream, and they saw me under the street lamp, and the attack, I was being attacked, so everybody just dropped everything, grabbed their flashlights. He was so scared he dropped me, but he ran into the park towards the people, and then they were running at him with flashlights, but he took off and he got out of the park. And that was a very bad experience. So here I was, and I was just attacked with a fist, unexpectedly. But what if it had been a knife, being unexpecting it? So I was lucky that they didn't use knives back then. But I was very badly bruised in the chest, and the doctor, when he examined me, said, boy, I was really lucky because I was big busted in the front, and at least I had some padding there, because if I hadn't had the padding with the bruising I had on there, I probably would have had broken ribs. And then I guess he was a little upset because he didn't get what he wanted. And then I had the police and that chasing him through the park, because what he was doing, he was coming back and laughing at me and jumping out from behind trees at me. So that was a fun summer with, as I've often said, my first husband was a police officer, and this was some of his buddies from the police department. They were chasing him through the park and trying to get this guy. And when they finally caught up with him, turned out it was the motive, and apparently it was this guy was hauling off, hitting women and robbing them. And I guess because he saw me in security uniform, that he thought I was going to be an easy target, being a woman and that. So there's things that can happen by surprise. So that's just one of the things that I wanted to bring up, that I do think that things have to be monitored properly. I think that even maybe better than some of the security guards, if they're going to walk around the whole mall at night, might be the special constables. I think might have a better chance. I think they are better trained for that. And obviously, with what's going on in the buses that we've spoken about recently, our special constables for the buses now are going to get, and the trains are going to get more training as well by the looks of it. So things are coming down to the point where everything's going to be security in our lives, and I can see more cameras will probably be on the corners and that as well, and through the market more even when this comes about, because you're putting in millions and millions of dollars for literally for new infrastructure, for buildings and street maintenance, and everything is going to be beautiful. I agree with it, because I would love to be able just to walk through a place like that, but it's safety that everybody's concerned about. So it's just food for thought, so I'm not going to leave it too long, but I'm going to leave it there. So everyone, take care, be safe, watch your surroundings, and we'll talk again soon, and bye-bye.